Real name, Leroy Calypso. Put your hands together and welcome the Black Stalinism.
But we must keep going. I feel the pain. Yes, we keep holding strength, but we must keep fighting. Regardless of how it comes, we just can't surrender. We gotta keep working towards a better future. We will never be always down and keep fighting to stay off the ground. You must remember, all day would come. While we appreciate the little life got to give, we must think positive and think more positive. Look on the brighter side, look on the brighter side, because I see a silver lining behind the gray cloud we're passing. Look on the bright side, look on the bright side, for the bright side is there. The journey may be long, and you keep falling down, but you must keep standing. As though we commit a crime, and we keep stopping time, but we must keep fighting. Remember they say that nothing lasts forever. One day is for the slave, one day for the master. So always keep your courage up. Don't allow confidence to drop. One day we'll be right here on top. While we appreciate the little life got to give, regardless what's the hurt, we must think positive. Look on the brighter side, look on the brighter side, because I see a silver lining behind the gray cloud we're passing. Look on the bright side, look on the bright, for the bright side is where we going. Love you. We want to say again a beautiful good night to all you wonderful people. If you come here to hear all Black Stallion songs, you know you can't hear that in one night. So what we're going to do, we're going to sort of take out some of the most outstanding ones and some of them that we sort of keep doing and we know that you would love. So tonight is a very special night. This one for you. So the trails are broke and they say that reset and jamming. A sort of foreign countries, yes, we start migrating. We lose faith in the country, they say we gone down the drain. They say no more, but we see happy times again. But the will to recover in my people, I have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I talking nonsense, but the majority of us decide we're not going to run, because now is the time for showing patriotism. Why our country facing its darkest hour, and our people need us today more than ever. little thing that I want we always remember. What we could make it if we just a little harder. If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. From the time Trinity analyzed just what was the problem. Yes, we start making very positive moves to solve them. We fire the Old Testament, it just we can't walk in. And it's a new troop, we went and we bring it. And if the goods we require them new managers not supplying. When election time come back wrong, it's new ones we bring in. But if it's one thing about my people, I could guarantee that they would never ever put party before country. And we country facing, it's dark, it's our, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, one little thing that I want we all sing together. When the treasury was full and happy times, someone enjoying. They said move back and laugh until poor people was living. But how the treasury broke and the country come back to square one. Poor people remain on the same old ghetto in John. But look at we economy return today on some footing. It's the same for people 10 days and more that they're taking. And without social unrest for people paying the price. Because they know for the country nothing too much to sacrifice. Why our country facing? It's dark, it's our, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try. Just a little harder now. If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. Anytime that you hear that your country facing a crisis, as loyal citizens, it's our duty to stay and assist. After we know to ourselves there could never become a day when our debts know we country we can repay. Don't want to go, could go, I have no objection. But while outside I want you to have some consideration that your country of birth is in its worst day in history. And we must do what we can, regardless where we may be. Why our country facing? It's dark, it's our, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, one little thing that I want we all sing together. What?
In my father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh, yeah. Walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give the praise. The day was not so moving, but before I go to bed, brother man, I get on my knees and I give the praise. 'Cause things could have been get on my knees and I give Jah praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can't say. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if Jah didn't love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say Jah build my house, nobody can tear it down. No way. Jah build it, me father build my house. Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jah say. So I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. But the devil keep on setting guns and pieces in my way. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so gloomy if Jah didn't love me. I know things could have been so very foggy if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. I say Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way.
Yeah, good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points.
In my house, nobody can break it down. Tell them he them stop him, mama.
My name is Sheldon Scott here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 13 minutes after the 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada.
Jah watch over right. Jah build my
We say a special good night to those of you listening in the Eastern Caribbean.
house.
Our good friend Sandra out there in St. Lucia. My good friend who tunes in every night from Inchozelle.
Man can break it down. I say Jah build my house.
The folks out there in Laborie in St. Lucia as well.
Nobody can break it down. No way.
Soufre. Those of you in Groselet.
Build my house.
Ancillary.
Solid rock I standing here I am.
Castries.
Jah build my house. I'm walking with my father and the
Yes, and Luciano.
Jah build my house. With Jah love in my heart and no one.
And good night to our good friends in Dominica who have informed me that they tune in on a nightly basis as well.
Can't say till I get on my knees and I give Jah praise.
St. Kitts. And there are quite a few Grenadians in St. Kitts. I don't get it twisted, you know. And Antigua as well. Yeah, a lot of Grenadians there.
Things could have been so crucial if Jah didn't love me.
Good night to all of you, our Jamaican friends. I keep making a mistake and saying they have to call the Jamaican election in a few weeks. Let me clarify, I miscalculated that. They've got until, I think it's October. Yeah, until October or somewhere.
I say things could have been so very brutal.
Yeah, because you have to put in the number of the amount of time after the election, then it is counted from when the first sitting of Parliament took place. So, yeah.
Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build
Yeah, today, July 8th.
my house, no man can break it down. No way.
Yeah, in fact, July 8th, that's the date of the 2008 general election, isn't it? Yeah.
Jah build my house, nobody.
By this time, the supporters of the NDC were in ecstasy, dancing and jumping all over the place. Little did they know what was in store for them over those 4.5 years. Huh?
Couldn't break it down.
On July 8th, they whine, they jump up, they watch is what they don't do.
Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over.
Little did they know what the government that they voted in at that point in time would do to them in just 4 2.5 years.
Jaja build my house, no man could break it down. I say, Jaja build my house, nobody can tear it down, no way. Jaja build it, me father build
I was there, I was involved, I was around.
my house, oh Lord.
And then we know what happened in 2013 after that, huh? Saying good night to all of you under the live tonight. All of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5. I'm not sure if they're on with us, but just in case, those of you joining us via that medium.
On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jaja
Again, if 91.9 is not on, it's my fault, huh? Yeah.
so I get
For quite a while there, we had a connection problem.
on my knees and I give Jah praise. But the devil keep on setting comes and pieces in my way. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise.
Yeah, from tomorrow night I have to start playing some of the calypsos and so for 2025, huh? Yeah.
Cause things could have been so gloomy if Jah didn't love me.
Some of them, because some of them just, they can't make the show. Telling you straight. They got to find a next show. They can't make it on this one here.
I know things could have been so very foggy if Jah didn't love me. Jah in my house, no man can break it.
So let me say good night to those of you tuning in on the live tonight. I see Denise Sandy, good night to you. Vanessa Lalji, Listra Abraham, Phyllis Mitchell, Alban Harris, good night to you, bro. And who else am I seeing there? Faith Lynn, Hallie Douglas, Agnes Henry, Debbie Seals, Kathleen Ledlow, good night to you. Dalton Strawn, I see Anna Lois, Stephanie John, Ruth Chitterman, Deborah Laborde, Maud Martin, Sherma Jeremiah, Matthew Boyen. Matthew, what's up, bro? Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, and I see Gavin Thomas, the lovely Mrs. Watts, and she's accompanied by the handsome Mr. Watts. Yolan Pariag, Ruslyn Jones, Joyce Lewis, Carib Spice Fitness, good night to you. And Errol Bonaparte, John Stafford, Anne-Marie Grant, good night to you. Teresa Joseph, Michelle Alexander, Patsy Frank, Hilary Joseph, Clive Raymond, Ron Julian, and I see Cindy Thomas, Jenny Samuel, good life, baby daddy, good night to you. Gillian Williams, Moko Pen. What's up, Moko Pen? And good night to you, Moko Joseph. Rodney Barry, John Mark, Agatha Debele, and Janice Mitchell, Anne-Marie Dick, and I see Christine Otley, Red Girl Pascal, Nesta Sinclair, Kathleen Knights, Winnie Simon, Cynthia Collins, Wendy Ann Maguire, good night to you. Special good night to you, Wendy Ann. Antonito, Ashma Charles, Ron Julian, I see you, they're fighting up in the thing, man. John Henry, Olive McKeown, Jerome Lewis, Vaughn Wellington, Kemisha Clark, good night to all of you. Did I see Chris London? I saw his name somewhere there. I don't know if it's someone was saying good night to Chris or if Chris is on. But Chris, good night to you. You know you have a walk, Yeah, I don't understand. Chris, yeah. Good night to you.
Break me down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Jah build
Sharon Felix, Jefferson Hagley, good night.
my house. No man can break me down, no way.
Let the folks who usually come on Facebook know that they're over on the YouTube tonight. Once again, there's a problem with Facebook. No, it's not from us in the studio. Facebook seems to have a problem with doing their live and so we're not able to get on to Facebook, but we are on the YouTube tonight, yeah?
Jah build my house.
So those that usually join on the Facebook, you can join on the, and I always tell folks, when you join on the YouTube, if you want to remain anonymous, you just don't say anything. Once you say something, I would most likely see your name or call you out or so. But if you want to be there and you don't want people to know you're there, YouTube is the best way to go. With Facebook, everybody could see that you're viewing. But on YouTube, it's a safer way to go. Because we know the spite thing. We don't want to spite some people because, oh, I hear you just be watching that program on a nightly basis. Like, I mean, come on. Their parents? Yeah, Papa.
Nobody can break it down, I say.
Agatha Batiste, good night.
Jah build it. Jah build my house. On solid rock.
You know, know if Chris London is actually in London?
Rock I stand.
Chris London is making a big sacrifice to be on a nightly basis, eh?
Oh,
Olive Mitchell, good night to you.
your father.
David, good night.
Oh, Lord.
And as we mentioned London, let me say a special good night to the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, the Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest Cohen, the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters.
They can break it down.
These three lovely ladies are in the UK right now, and they are doing a parliamentary training in the way that you operate the not finance committee, the public accounts committee, yeah.
The weather keep on changing.
So they're going through a training right now in the procedures and so.
In a funny kind of way, but I
Jocelyn Matheson.
get on my knees and I give the praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can say.
Jocelyn, wrong program. That is not the name.
Still I get on my knees and I give the praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if you didn't love me. I say things could have been so very brutal.
And imagine this, the Honorable Emlyn Pierre is not on the island, and she was able to have in her constituency last night. Yes, her constituency. Some people don't understand and others be acting all kind of rude and thing. But anyway, she had in her constituency last night, there was a session that was held with the folks dealing psychologically with the blast that happened. Yes, so folks were able to talk it out. And I want you all to hear one of the people, their story of what happened when that blast took place last week. Because remember, we have been saying that there are psychological effects due to the blast. People are suffering from anxiety. You let a heavy thunder roll in telescope and you're going to realize what we're saying. Yeah? So just listen a while to this bit.
I went to the graduation, me and my wife and the children, 5 boys. We came back home and get ready to go to the dinner. As we reached in the school for the dinner, I heard this big blast. I tried to recall in my mind what I heard. If it's a lightning, a thunder, a bomb, a gunshot, I tried to replay it over and over. And everybody that was there get away because they'd never heard that sound before. So when I look around and noticed the smoke and the dust in the quarry, so I say it's down there. So I know I have cylinder home in the house. So the first thing I go, is it my cylinder go off? I ain't thinking about the quarry. I was thinking about if there's something go off in my house. So I take the phone and I call my son. Didn't answer, call it back. Then my big son answer. He said, "Daddy, come home now." Well, actually, my van is not an off-road van. it's a passenger vehicle. And I threw that in reverse. I didn't even turn. And in split of a second, I rushed down home because I want to know what happened. Because they didn't explain. He just said, "Come home now." So when I reach home, I noticed the door leak off. The 2 doors downstairs break up. The window was open, but they have the mesh. The mesh flick out. So I want to know what they did. They said, "We did nothing." So I got to my smaller son. He said the door just burst open and threw him back in the chair. And I noticed he was trembling. And my next son, they say he tried to jump out from upstairs because how the impact is, he break the room door and it couldn't have opened. So he got through the room window to jump downstairs, nearly damage himself. And my next son now, he run out through the next back window. So I never see it like how you explain it tonight, that the children went through all that. I just find it was an event and them is boys they could handle. But you speaking tonight make me realize. That's why sometimes how ignorant you is. And you could really do more damage to the situation than help as a parent. And I'm grateful tonight to listen and learn and understand. Sometimes you think you know and you realize you really don't know. So I realize now how I have to deal with my children them more carefully, because this what they passed through, it wasn't easy. Because all I was thinking about what I heard in the school, but the effect that they have in the home, to see 8 doors. I have 8 doors break up. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. 8 doors break up in the house. The roof literally go up and come down. And my house is a new house. My house newly wet. We just take a loan to do the roof. Bug and 5. And when I thought that was it, when I go downstairs in my 2 big sunroom and look up, the whole of the split in 2. The whole downstairs split into the wall. That hole, and I always boast that wall is the strongest wall. When I look, it's split too. Yeah, and it's split, it's burst. So when you listen tonight, you realize, Lord, I mean, so many I learned here tonight.
Yes, indeed. And that's just one of the residents of the area giving their account of what happened and saying how thankful they were to Dr. Panchu for the intervention led by the Honorable Emlyn Pear that took place last night. It's then they began to understand really that, hey, there are lingering effects. And we're not talking about the house and the vehicles and all those things. They're talking about the lingering psychological effects that the people of the community are facing due to what took place last week. It has been something that has been ignored in the government response, but it is something that is just as important. It is something that I continue to say remains a part of what needs to be done in Carriacou. A lot of folks in Carriacou and Petit Martinique and even in the north of the island, they have still not come to terms with Hurricane Beryl a year ago. There are still lingering psychological effects. Some people tell you how scared they become, how anxious they become if the weather gets bad, if they start to hear heavy rain, or they start to have a bit of wind passing by, if they hear thunder and lightning. They tell you how anxious they become when those things take place. When you have major events, be they man-made or natural, there is the psychological aspect of it that has to be dealt with. Yet the trauma of people having gone through that event and the worry that what I went through there, I may have to go through that at some point again. And that has to be dealt with. The new National Party administration understood that. So after Hurricane Ivan and Emily, you had several sessions. So you had the children in the school, when they went back to school, to help them deal with it. They were told, draw what happened. So they had to draw pictures and so on and show, this is what happened to me, that is what happened to me, and so on. And various other programs outside of the schools that dealt with things. In fact, government was dealing with it, and some people didn't even realize that it was being dealt with. So that's something that was so frightening to you that you would look back at it and be able to laugh afterwards. Yeah? And I would say the same goes with even COVID. That there's the psychological, a lot of us still remember what it was like to be under lockdown and so on. We still remember what that was like. We never want to be in that type of situation again. So there's still the lingering psychological effects of those things. And those things have to be dealt with. Sometimes you don't recognize it. You don't realize it is happening. But sometimes that's why some people might be quick to anger, because they've not dealt with that fear that they have. And you realize they're quick to anger and so on. So these things have to be dealt with. So hats off to the Honorable Emlyn Pear for understanding that and ensuring that she stepped forward, even while physically off the island, that she ensured that this session was held with the people in telescope, so at least they got an understanding of, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is why I feel the way that I do. And be able to address it, not just in themselves, but their neighbors, their children, etc. Yeah, so kudos to her on getting that done, right? And folks, let me just open the phone line as well. No, we do not have a guest on with us tonight. we are seeking to have the Honorable Emlyn Pear on tomorrow night with us. Yeah, I'm checking here. I just realized I got some messages here. Yeah. So we're seeking to have the Honorable Emlyn Pear on with us tomorrow night. I will be sending out a note early in the morning once I doubly confirm. As you know, there is the time difference between here and the UK. So to have her on, it's going to be a bit of a challenge because especially talking late in the night. What time is it in the UK now? Let me see. It should be, yeah, it's actually 1:30 a.m. Irvin, let us stay up late, boy. 1:30 a.m. in the UK right now. 1:31 a.m. So you understand the time difference, especially after you've been out to these sessions for the day and so on at the Westminster. So we are endeavoring to get the Honorable Emlyn Pear on with us tomorrow night. We'll give you some more details in relation to that once we have confirmed that she will be able to join us. And before I get deeper into tonight's discussions, let me just quickly run through some of the activities that are coming up. No, all of these things gone. We papa. Yeah, just realizing that I have not had properly updated yet. Right? Right, the St. David Constituency branch. The St. David Constituency branch of the New National Party, they're having their barbecue sale. That's coming up on Friday, July the 18th. Yeah, that should be next week Friday. Yeah, next week Friday, July the 18th from 1 p.m. They're going to be having barbecue chicken, barbecue fish, barbecue pork, pigfoot sauce, mannish waters, bake and fish cake, potato salad, green salad, garlic bread, and of course they have the ice cold drinks on sale. That's at the party office out there in La Sagesse, St. David. And for more information, you can call 414-4978. That's 414-4978. Let's say a special good night to the Honorable Nolene Thompson. I'm putting it in front one time. The Honorable Nolene Thompson, good night to you. And that's the St. David Constituency branch of the New National Party. They are having that barbecue sale taking place not this Friday, but the following Friday. So July the 18th from 1 p.m. All right, nice, beautiful. Let me see what else we have there. The Northwest Brigade Calypso tent. I know how much of them put my name in the Calypso. But the Northwest Brigade Calypso tent, they've got their launch taking place this Saturday. This Saturday, that's July the 12th from 8 p.m. Who they have there? They have Fupi, Miss Coco Clemlin, Miss Coco, Sergeant Folks, Baraka, Topper, Valley Ned, Reporter, Bongo Blair, Young Song, Ja Angel, Shortman, and Satiris. They're being backed by the Caress Band, and that is going to be taking place at the Mount Moritz Community Center. And it's sponsored by the Mount Morris Community Development Organization, Grand Mall Development Organization, and Grenada Distillers. So that's the Northwest Brigade Calypso tent. You know, years ago, around this time of year, years ago, you would basically spend a week or so going from Calypso tent to Calypso tent because some of the tents, they would have, you know, different things. So, you know, this weekend, you say you're going up in Grenville, you're going to a tent day, you might go on the West Coast, wherever, you go to a tent day, you go in town, you go in a tent. But these days it's not like that as before, where you have a tent and they might be on for how much nights in a row or so, and you do have that taking place again. But the Northwest Brigade, just remember, they are on this Saturday. Yeah, they are launching this Saturday. Price of entry only $15. Yeah, just $15, man, to enter. And that is going to be at the Mount Moritz Community Center, and they're starting from 8 p.m. Yeah, 8 p.m. And they say 8 p.m. sharp, 8 p.m. sharp. Hey, Heather, how you doing? This is my good friend Heather here, K&R Bookstore. They have their back to school, buy one, get one, free on all school supplies from now until August the 31st. So if I buy one book bag, I gain one free. Yeah, Heather? Yeah, no, let me know, you know. I think she's based where? H.A. Blaze Street, that's Upstairs, the new building there that has been built by Otway Bailey. Yeah, she's upstairs that building there. And if you buy one, you get one free. So Heather, if I buy one school bag, I get one free. So if I buy 10, I should get 20. So if I come by you and I buy 10 school bags, I could get 20, and then I'll be able to give 20 school bags to 20 children. So don't be surprised to see me pop up. Items on sale: pens, pencils, rubbers, highlighters, markers, notebooks, backpacks, etc. And again, that's on H.A. Blaze Street by the new building. Well, it's still new building by Otway Bailey there upstairs from the H.A. Blaze Street entrance. And for more information, you can call 231-3500. All right, nice. Yeah, that's good people. So I must give them a look up blighty. You understand?
11/2025, 16 days of fun, fitness, laughter, energy. I just want to encourage everybody to come down to both Tantin, Old Trafford playing field, and Monroe's Grenada for an eventful fun, fitness, and giveaways. Fitness Revolution 11, one and all. See you there.
Yes, indeed, and Fit for Life behind that one there as well. And yeah, no, I can't think there now to make sure, yeah.
63, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. WeNoise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. WeNoise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact WeNoise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed, folks. So, yes, we know. Wait! Folks, let me tell you, WeNoise TV has been so loyal to us for many years now. In fact, well, I think it predates 2013, you know. They have been bringing our stuff for free. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm more than good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. Go
Did you
ahead.
hear my voice for the second time?
I've heard you.
I say you hear my voice for the second time, man.
But that's not a bad thing. That's a real good thing.
Yeah. I'm just calling to say that, you know, the initiative that was done by Honorable Player yesterday was a good one. You know, one really needed for the community. I was there yesterday and to really sit and listen to the impact from that blast for the community residents. And, you know, it was heart-touching to understand what they go through, especially the impact it had on the children in the community, you know, and to see them to witness that. And, you know, some of them are still traumatized because some of them can't really sleep for themselves. They have to be sleeping with another child, and some who are just getting up in the night, you know, and they're having this basically, you know, the repeat of the event basically running through their mind based on what they were talking about the people in the community yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was showing you that it's not just a physical, you know, they don't just need a physical repair, but they need, you know, help in terms of recovering mentally from the impact, you know. So it was a good initiative by the Honorable MNPA and Dr. Panchu, and, you know, we've gone to, I believe, as she mentioned, She may talk more about it, but it's going to be a series of activities, to help the people in the community, because to be impacted by something like this, it's very a tragic event. And yesterday meeting, one of the things that stood out to me is when Mr. Panchu said, when things happen, it also affects the children, and the children is the most vulnerable. And it made me, to look at things in terms of the broader aspects, in terms of things happening in our life, things that goes wrong. It could be the quarry or other stuff, and the impact it has around the children or around us. So as parents, we have to be careful, how we allow certain things that happen to us to impact our environment, the children, especially because they're the one most vulnerable. So, so we have to continue to pray for the community, and work with them, help them repair, and help them, in terms of dealing with their mental health as well. So, I would say kudos to Honorable Emlyn Pierre and the team for putting that together, and starting this wonderful initiative. Yeah, so take care of yourself, my brother.
Yes, and the thing is that I think that she got one of the best people she could have possibly found to do the session in Dr. Augustine Panchu. This gentleman knows his job. He knows it.
Must I agree, he was very excellent last night, because he had me thinking about and even doing some soul searching and reflecting on my own self based on the way we talk. And talking about sometimes, you think that something happened now and it may not affect you, but sometimes you see people act out some way as they grow up, and they wonder when it happened, but because the event had never been dealt with, so it was a very, very, he's a very educated guy, and he was very helpful. I think a lot of people opened up yesterday, and you could realize how deep and emotionally hurt they're in. So it was very helpful, and proud to be in his company, man. A very helpful guy and down to earth. So I must agree, he was an excellent pick for that response yesterday.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, my brother. Don't be a stranger. Let me hear you more regular.
All right. I'll be there when I need to be, but I'm always listening. Take care.
All right, bro. Thank you
All
very
right, take care. You're welcome.
Yes, indeed, folks. One of my good brethren and them there. Yes, indeed. And I'm seeing a message here from Sheldon. He's saying, no, not this Sheldon, another Sheldon. We, the people of the diaspora, have a problem with the high cost on the port and the customs. Not if Sheldon, when. Okay, we'll come back to you, Sheldon. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good night. How are you doing, sir?
Hello. What's up? I hear calling my name. So I'm trying to not to be too disobliging. So what I call, that's my friend. How you doing?
The Spice Ram himself. How you going, brother?
They're fighting the heat. Not the heat like all your heat, but we heat here different to y'all. We still heat.
If you ask me, you all heat more dangerous,
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Way more dangerous. Let me put it like this. I've been to the New Mexico desert, and the heat in North America is more dangerous than the heat down here.
Yeah, no picnic, brother.
Yeah.
No picnic. And I was outside in it all day today. So
dehydration will kill you fast up there, boy. What?
Yeah, I heard your backman call, and I've been getting buff from people like, oh, Sheldon always call your name, you don't call, But I'm trying to be, cordial. But I hear you telling people my business, but is that one? I told your friends.
Nah, saying it, man.
Yeah, you're giving kudos. I appreciate that, man. Yes, sir.
I ain't not a lie for nobody. I'm telling them as it is, because since before 2013, you have been broadcasting Talk Your Talk. You've been broadcasting Hard Talk. And then I did a while, Spot On. Then you did this program as well. So it's not now you did.
No, and then during COVID, every press conference, anything that happened throughout the country, and it's not just to me, it was just my civic duty as a Grenadian to do. And I reach out on both sides of the pendulum. So the opposition, which is now the government, I reach out to everybody had the platform, but nobody else took it up. But at the same token, appreciate you guys picking it up and giving me the opportunity to share what you guys are doing home with our folks out in the diaspora and other parts of the world, not just New York and Canada, but a wide, Asia, the Asia continent, because we have a lot of listeners throughout. So appreciate that. You know, but you're not telling me,
Sometimes,
look at I look at thing, I look at type. No.
no,
I would never,
I think
I would
people,
never
I
for
want,
compensation on that.
I want the people. There's no way we could ever compensate you, and I think I want people to know that when they support
It
you,
has
they're
to be
supporting
duty.
us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
take the system. Take the
When they
system.
support we know TV, they support Grenada as a whole. It's a Grenadian thing. We know it's FM might be based and we know TV might be based out here, but it is a Grenadian thing. When you go on our website, everything there's Grenada. Watch our logo. Our logo represent the colors, full colors of Grenada. You know, and nothing else. You know, someone was looking at the website yesterday and he's like, yo, bro, that's a Grenadian website. I say, there you go. You got it. You got it. You know, it's a representation of our country, brother. All three islands, solid. You know, that's just me. You know, giving what I could give, what I could do in a small way. You know, returning to my beautiful country, bro. You
Yes,
know,
indeed.
I just-
I ain't gonna talk
I
about
just-
it. I ain't gonna talk about the other things you just do. That between you and the people you just help. A lot of folks. No, the thing is, there are a lot of folks help people and don't say anything. You're one of them.
They're not supposed to.
You know,
You're not
you
supposed.
help a lot of people and you don't say anything. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
You know,
All I
we
want
just-
people to know is that when they support you, they support Grenada on a whole. Yeah?
Yeah,
Not just
I did something.
support
I'm not going to
Grenada.
go into detail what it was. I did something for someone that was just in dire need of something years ago. I never knew who the person was. I just met them. They knowing them, knowing their husband, knowing them around, and they talked to me, opened up to me one day. Because I saw them, I was like, "What's going on? You know, you don't look at yourself." I said, "Oh man, I'm going through this." I was like, "I help. I have this. You could utilize it, whatever." And only get to find out months after. somebody showed me my door. The bell rang, and I went over there, and I was like, I'm looking at the person, I was like, "Who, why you here?" I was like, "Oh, my niece is here." You know, and my niece gave me this address. I was like, "That's your niece?" And that's your family, you know. I was shocked, you know, but I just meet a Grenadian in need and assist them, give them what they needed to take them through the difficult time.
Wait, the one final thing I want to say here, because I realize like you're kind of busy. It looks like you're doing an installation too.
Yeah. You won't believe the amount of things I do right now while we come.
I could hear it, I would hear it on my mic, on my headphones in the background. The people wouldn't hear it. But you know, the amazing thing is that people like yourself, people like Nurse Wendy and McGuire, people like Miss Kathy Albert, people like
Kathy Albert.
I don't find out to see them attacking Mr. Watts, and the day I hear they attack Mr. Watts, they go find out.
No. They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare. It's not like the afraid before watching it. You see Madam Watts? You see Madam Watts, you don't pray. So they wouldn't dare.
Doing
They wouldn't
a
get.
whole program on them. People like Kiami, who quietly would be there in town, and the amount of people I just be around by Kiami, and I know the amount of people that Kiami personally does assist on a daily basis, morning, noon, and night. Elderly women might go by her, and they quietly talk because they don't have the money to pay the bus to go back home. And Kiami would give them the change. The children, who sometimes look at children already, they would lose their bus money and so. And they know that they could go by Miss Kiami, and Miss Kiami going to help them out and different things. And the amount of people that I see that she helps. And then when you have people like Kiami, you have people like Nurse Wendy, you have people like yourself, you have people, and to see people attack them in the way that they attack them, and the people who attack them don't take a
Don't do
hint
nothing.
to help anybody.
They don't do nothing for
Anything to help
nothing.
somebody.
Remember, I was having a conversation with you, and I told you 2 weekends ago, a man told me get 30 F in here. Get up, man, cost me stink. You know, all people are telling me, I say, he's a political hypocrite and a political liar. That's all. That's what I said.
He wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like that. But that's the thing. That's the thing, Wade. We have that situation where there are people that help people. There are many other people here that sometimes would message me and say, Sheldon, I've heard you speak about this situation. Put me in touch with that person. Don't call me name.
Yeah.
And they say straight up, don't call my name, you know. Don't call my name.
Yeah.
And they would say, okay, I'm sending that for that person. Put me on to that person. And get in contact with people and so on. And I'm telling you, they're straight up, they just don't want their name called. They say, don't call my name. Yeah?
Because I have to call this time in the morning because I get a call today from someone home who said to me, hey, I just get the news, I'm calling you to tell you right now. I'm leaving for Canada Sunday. So I was like, oh, shucks, I have something home I need to come up. But I was going to call Moses because he's home. So, but that item needs to go to Canada. So instead of getting him to bring it here, and then I said, okay, I'll go make a call in the morning. So in the morning, I call Miss Camille. I will have somebody drop it by Miss Camille. Miss Camille go put it on our bus, lay it in hotel, and they go get it.
Yeah.
And we go be on the road.
That is
Listen, there's some people when I coming home. You know, Sheldon, I just shopping there. Nobody knows when I come in. Not even my family know when I come in. Okay? But there's certain people when I coming home, I will reach out and say, hey, listen, I leave in Saturday going home. And they will tell me, hey, bring that from his family. Bring that, you know. And I have no problem doing that. I have no problem because when you stay in New York or stay in Canada or wherever I am and I call Miss Camille and I say, Miss Camille, I have something so and so, so you need to get the supplies, you need to get it, just to get it by $100 or whoever. She doesn't.
You need reaching.
My family, they're done in reach.
She's better than UPS and FedEx.
There you go. There you go. That's what I said. Anyway, friend. Appreciate it, so real talk. All right? Have a good show.
Yes, brother.
All right. Yes, my friend.
Yes, folks, and it's nearly 9 o'clock. While I continue to entertain your calls, I think we have to get into one or two of the issues now. And I'm seeing Sheldon Sylvester was speaking here. You said we the people of the diaspora. Well, we the people of the diaspora. Let's hold on a bit again. We've got a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Our next one of the people who does do a lot of things and get cussed still. Nurse Wendy and Maguire, how are you?
Good. Sheldon, just this morning I woke up and I put a post on and was asking if any measures was taken, for the people in regards to what they experience. And someone made a comment and said, oh, it's too early for that. Sheldon,
too early?
I can tell you, Sheldon, I have a world of it. Like I said, I'm a family nurse practitioner, so I have experience in every way. I also, first of all, let me just congratulate the team. After I heard that, somebody put it up. I don't always see what's on Facebook because there are times when I'm busy. I don't even go on Facebook till I come in the night and I just browse through. But I didn't even realize the team did something when it was yesterday or when. Sometimes I'll have to call Martin or Jill and say, oh, what did I miss? Did I miss something? And they'll tell me. But any case, like I was saying, you have to put measures in place before it happens. You don't wait until, you start seeing this one hang themselves or this one do that, and then you're going to come up with a plan. Because somebody was saying that under my post, let's not jump to conclusion, or let's not do this, or let's not do that. Yes, we have to do it. Safety is a priority, and you always have to have those things in place. Sheldon, I'll tell you something. If I wasn't a strong person, people who knew me know I had COVID, and COVID almost killed me.
Wow.
I was in the hospital, one of the first nurses to get COVID, because when we realized the patient had COVID and everybody was running away, me with my good heart, I did everything for that patient. I did every work. I did CNA, I did doctor, I did respiratory therapist, I did everything, and I was exposed too long to her but I got it. When I got it, there was no treatment. Sheldon. The doctor, they tell me in the hospital, they said 50-50. We don't have no treatment. We'll treat the symptoms. If it works, it works. If not, we can do nothing. Sheldon, I can recall I was in the room, and the voices was telling me jump out the window. I'm telling you, the voices was telling me jump out the window. And every time I put my head down, it was just dead people. That was in another side. I was already there, Sheldon. So I know when you're going through these things, but I'm a strong person. So I was able to fight those things. But you have people, not everybody can tolerate stress, not everybody can tolerate. Some people get anxious for the smallest things. I see patients every day, and most of them I have to do there's a screening tool. It's called PHQ-9 that you have to do on the patient. Once they say, okay, they're having difficulty sleeping, or they're depressed, you do those things. You don't wait, because that's how you save lives. You don't wait until something happens and then you start scrambling. Okay, what we gonna do? We need that in Grenada. Too many people, young people especially, are dying by suicide, and we need, to strengthen and build on that anyway. We need to build on it and continue building so that,
Remember,
we can help.
we have
Yeah.
a so-called minister with responsibility for mental health. That's their ministry, mental health. And they didn't find it necessary to go into the area, to send their staff into the area and do what the MP for the area has now done. They speak about mental health all the time, but it seems as, you see, for a lot of these people, it is all about the fanfare, having the name, and not actually getting the job done. Yeah, it's all about the fanfare. It's all about the social media. Let's jump on the social media and say that, we the minister this and we the minister that, and we're doing this and we're doing that. But how many people does it positively impact when you do something? And what Honorable Emlyn Pierre has done there, she has positively impacted the entire community. Yeah? Because even those who didn't come will get the message from those who did come. And they would be able to identify things in their neighbors and their neighbors' children that they could then speak to the neighbors to sort out.
Yeah? Exactly. The priorities are in the wrong place. I'll tell you that, Sheldon. Mm-hmm. It's in the wrong place, because something like that, like I said, you have to tackle the problem before it even comes on. You have to have some kind of plan, some kind of action plan there, because you know what's going to happen. We're not going to wait till 2 months, 1 month, and then you start seeing people coming down with those signs, and then you have to scramble. Okay, what do we do? There should be something up and running. And this morning when I put the post, and around 1 o'clock, I went back and checked on Facebook, and I saw somebody commented and said, yes, something was put in place. I was so happy. Because it's not nice sitting there and hearing, oh, this person hang themselves, a 20-year-old hang themselves, a teenager. It's hard. It's heartbreaking, especially when you set out your day to save lives, to help people, to do whatever you can, any way you can make a difference. And you see people just taking their life, and you sit there and you say to yourself, I wish, something I could have been done, something I could have done to help. And sometimes even if you help one person, you still accomplish something. So again, like I said, I just want to congratulate the team, because this morning I got up with that heavy on my mind, and like I said, when I posted and I heard that, I was very happy. So I just want to congratulate them again, and like I said, we could continue building on it to make it better.
Thank you so very much, Nurse. You do enjoy the rest of your night tonight. I know you've been working hard today, so
I have two vacations coming up back to back, so I'm going to be enjoying.
Make sure. All right, yeah, you have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Yes, folks, and let's go back to Sheldon's comment. I don't want to lose it. So he's saying, we the people of the diaspora have a problem with the high cost on the ports and customs. He said, if Mrs. Pierre, when Mrs. Pierre gets elected, what are her plans for us? He wants someone to ask her that. Okay. Tomorrow night, we'll find out. Just listen to the PM on his show holding his ground on the added tax that is added on when shipping a vehicle. They're adding the shipping fees on top of the cost of the vehicle. Yes, I did hear the PM attempting to defend that when a caller asked him about the hybrid vehicles and bringing them in, and the fact that the cost of shipping is being added to the cost of the vehicle, and then they're being taxed. So you're being taxed not just on the vehicle that you buy, but on the cost of shipping the vehicle as well. And in the view of many people, they believe that if you're taxing me, tax me on the cost of the vehicle and don't tax me on the cost of the shipping. But as it is right now, you're being cost on the holistic cost, the overall cost, the cost of shipping as well as the cost of the vehicle, right? So Sheldon is asking what are the plans in relation to that. And sometimes we get charged more than the entirety of the product at the port. That's including shipping. Yes, that has happened to several people. They bring in an item, and the charges that they receive on those items are so high that the charges are actually more than they paid for the item to buy it and ship it to Grenada. Yeah. So I know many people in the diaspora have been having that issue. And it is something that, yes, I'm with you, Sheldon. And not just because your name Sheldon, but it is something that needs to be addressed. Yeah, there is an issue there with a lot of folks. I would say, though, that I agree with that according to the item. One, the absolute necessity of the item that is coming in. And two, if that same item is available locally. If that same item is available locally, and we're speaking general here, not just vehicles. If that item is available locally to protect the local economy and the producers locally, I have no problem with you making it undesirable to bring it into the country. Yeah? If there's an item that's being produced in Grenada, I believe that what has to be done is make it undesirable to bring it in. Stimulate your local business. Let people buy locally. Yes, you will have the option. You could buy the foreign one, but you will pay more for it. But you will have the option of the less pricey local alternatives. Sometimes, in most instances, the local alternative is better, especially when you're speaking in relation to food and so on. The local alternative, whether you're talking local saltfish, they used to smoke fish at a time locally and so on, all of these things, the local alternative was much better than what was being brought in. So in order to protect, you have to look at it from that aspect as well. Folks, one of the main issues we wanted to discuss tonight as well is the issue of the Clogé Road. We heard last night what the minister, the MP for St. John, had to say in relation to the Clogé Road and all of that. But I want you all to take the time and listen to several things here. One of them, I want you to listen to, no, we're not going to play she again. Because, I mean, let me just show you all, first of all, the state of the road up there. Yeah? One of the listeners, one of our nightly viewers sent me a video this morning of the state of the road up there in Clogé. Let me see if I can, yeah, let me show you. Yeah, that's the state of the road up there in Clogé. Yeah? Because what we were watching at last night and so on, that's just part of it, you know. The road has broken a little further up. There's been more degradation to the land there. I won't like to pronounce it, but that house that is there is in serious problems. I was listening to Grenada Broadcasting Network's news tonight, and I really feel it for the owner of that property. But this is what the people of Clogé have to go through now. If they're trying to get down to Guave, they actually have to pass in this area. Every day, they have to walk through, going down and going back up. There's no driving through there. Forget that. That doesn't exist. There's no road to drive through. And contrary to what the MP for the area was talking about, there's no alternative route. Your alternative route, if you are in Clogé, is that you have to go through St. Andrew and come around. Your alternative route is if you're down into Guave side, and so you have to go turn and go back that direction. There's no alternative route there. Yeah, there's no back road and no alternative. This is what the folks who are there, yeah, you see, walking on them stone and them. I had to pray rain and fall too, because if rain fall, you're taking a chance to even be walking there. Right? Because you all see what has happened there. And again, we heard the MP speaking about, oh, the contractor this and the contractor that and the other. There is no way, folks, none, that the contractor supposed to be the person finding out that it have water underground and finding out it a pipe burst under the ground and all that sort of thing. There is no way that is supposed to be the situation. And you know what? Let me show you something else here. And the 25th of June, this was broadcast by the Government Information Service. So this is a program that was broadcast by the Government Information Service on the 25th of June. Let me just get that one up so that you can hear it and see it for yourself.
I'm Kishan Gittins, foreman as supervisor on Fari Construction Company, FCSL.
Give us an appreciation of where we are and the reason that you all signed a contract here in the first instance.
Well, in the first instance, we came up here to do 110 feet of wall to protect the road because it was slipping, right? And box drain on the next side of the road because of the water that was soaking through the road, right? So initially we came up here to do 110 feet of road, roughly around 22 feet high.
And during the process, explain to us further how your project expanded.
Okay, so during the process, right, when we start cutting, we realized that we had to go deeper than initially had to go. So in that process, we realized that the road started slipping more. So we had extended on the wall to cover the area that's slipping, and that is the reason why we reached closer to the house that is in, but we come up with a solution to protect the house through the ministry. We came and we shelving the wall, and we're gonna put a wing wall to protect the house.
And again, folks, this is before the collapse of the entire area there. This is on the 25th of last month, in other words, just a couple weeks ago. This was broadcast by the Government Information Service in relation to the project that is taking place up there. Yeah, and you realize from how the contractor is talking, what they're doing now was not part of the original plan. In other words, there wasn't a proper planning. And I'm not blaming the contractor here. I'm blaming who gave the contractor the job. I'm still trying to understand how the Ministry of Works allows a project to go ahead without doing the proper background checks and work that is supposed to be done. Because if you listen clearly to this contractor, you realize these people are doing a job and then finding out things as they're going along. So let's listen to him again.
Excavation works, did you identify any of the contributing factors for the slippage of the land?
Yes, when we start cutting, we realize that the area up here, you have a lot of springs. So anybody with no closure area, they're gonna know that this area up here, you have a lot of springs. So when we start excavating, we realize that
when they start cutting, they realize you're supposed to know that before, because the Ministry of Works, of who the Prime Minister is the ministry, is the minister. That's the Prime Minister ministry. You know, Mr. Man, if you can't handle the Ministry of Works, damn well give it up. Give somebody else. Don't give Ron. Don't call back Ron and game. Come on, that is a disaster in itself. Yeah? The problem is the whole cabinet you have is a disaster, so it's from Tweedledee over to Tweedledum. And they still have a bomb in between, but still. Yeah? But you're hearing the contractor here. Is when they start to dig, they realize it has spring there. Come on, man. So what were they fixing if they're seeing the land slipping? They didn't identify what was the causative factors, what are the causative factors for the land to be slipping. They just decide we're building a wall here. And when you start to dig, you realize the land slipping because it has spring underneath it. No. Don't take my word for it. Let me go back because you realize no, poor contractor. Papa, me ain't blaming you. Let me make it clear. I'm not blaming the contractors. The blame lies squarely at the feet of the government. It lies squarely at the feet of the Ministry of Works. They ought to have done soil testing. they ought to have done an assessment as to why what is taking place before issuing a contract, because you may have issued a contract for a wall that may have been under $100,000 and then realize you have a multi-million-dollar project that you need to do. And folks, that's the direction it's heading.
Contributing factors for the slippage of the land?
Yes, well, when we start cutting, we realize that the area up here, you have a lot of springs. So anybody with no closure area, they're going to know that this area up here, you have a lot of springs. So when we start excavating, we realize that where we start cutting on the top side of the road, you have a spring that was soaking through, and that was causing the land to slip. So that is why we had to go deeper with the cutting of the road. So we end up now with a greater challenge on our hand where we have a house involved, right? But the experience we have through the ministry, we came up to a solution yesterday where we're gonna shelve the area and we're gonna put a wing wall to protect the house. And if anybody know what they call the gabion basket, we're going to put a gabion basket there so the water, what is in the land, because of the mold that is there, it's going to slip out, take out all the water in the land. So you're going to protect the house.
My name is Trevor.
Trevor what?
Gully.
Mr. Gully, how long have you been residing here at Clogie?
I could say all the days of my life. I'm born and bred up here.
As a resident, speak to us about what's happening here.
Well, yeah, as you see, after burial, he had a slippage here. Right, a small slippage where he did that.
Oh, after burial, because according to the MP for St. John, Corinne James, she's claiming that this was a problem there how much years, but you lived there all your life, Mr. Gully, and you're saying that this happened after burial. Okay, all right, maybe we misinterpreted the words of the minister.
And started to pull, so them come 3 weeks ago now, them came here to do this work, and from the time they start digging this foundation to get the whole road just began walking. Well, as you see, they live below and they come on top here to see how they could control the water, because as you see, you had 2 main drains coming from up there, and this drain constantly running. It never dry.
So that's spring?
Yeah, it's a spring. Right, he had some input on the side there, but apparently no, them input was this so long that the water was passing under, so all the water slipping down. So that was causing all you see this the runnage of this. And more they try to cut to thing is more coming down, everything just coming down. As you see, they had to dump here to make piece of road, otherwise vehicle couldn't able to pass because the complete road has gone. Yeah, the original road has gone. Yeah, it's a good project. Yeah, I see it as a good project, because if they didn't come and do it in the future, we're narrowed. Road. So, yeah.
And this is before the road went there, so right now is the future and they didn't have road.
It's a good project.
And also, as a result of what's happening, we're seeing that where you're living, there is some slippage there as well, but government has begun the process of addressing that. Explain how do you feel about that, because now the work that they're going to go and do close to your property is going to enable safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as I said, the place though it belongs to is my nephew, but I live here, I taking care of the farm. And as I tell him, I say, against they getting the road, because the road is important. The important thing is you want to know that they secure in the place. Yeah. And I think, well, they come to an agreement what they go do already. So we're looking out to see,
So did you explain to him what is going to be happening?
Yeah, I explained everything to him. I think he will be soon. He might come soon. If then come to do that, they know where the land already had a little slide there. After a couple of years, he might have just continue going, and he would have to spend our money there. So right now, the guy is up. You say, because in the future, he must have to do that. Yeah, because the land running there. Because if you go right there, if you try there, you have a live water running right there, and the ground right now going across there. And I don't know where the water coming out from, because when we was there.
So this is the water, as he say, you don't know where that water coming out from. Folks, that was the bus pipe, it seems.
In a foundation from the house, we never met no water there. So I don't know where the water coming from.
Well, I think they found out where that water coming from right now. Eh? Yeah, they found out where, let's go back down a bit. No, you're going back down here, yeah. You didn't know where the water coming out from, Mr. Gully? They have now found out. Yeah, they found out where the water is coming
Was that
from.
to do that? Yeah, because the land running there. Because if you go right there, if you watch right there, you have a live water running right there, and the ground right now going across there. And I don't know where the water coming out from, because when we was digging a foundation from the house, we never met no water there. So I don't know where the water coming from. But if you go there now, you're seeing it live running in the street. Yeah. So the water is the whole problem.
Yes, indeed, folks. So that's from not anybody else but the government themselves. Yeah? Where they were basically giving you an indication of their incompetence. Incompetence! Let me say it again. Incompetence. How in the hell you're going to go to deal with a major artery in the country, a major road? That is a major road. And you ain't do your proper background work. You're just sending people and say, we give you a contract, go and build a wall. You don't even know if it's not a wall you need. You don't know that you might have need the Gabion baskets. That come in afterwards. You find out, after they start digging, they find out water running under here. When the road collapsed, then they find out it have a pipe here and it busts. All of this took place after, when it could have been known before if a proper assessment had been done. You have a person that lived there all their life, and the person that Mr. Gully could have tell you certain things about that area if they had spoken to him. He definitely, I am sure, could have told them certain things that may have saved the government of Grenada the couple million they're going to end up having to spend. Take what I need. I bet you cross $1 million to fix that problem. I bet you it end up crossing over $1 million. Yeah? Let's hear compliments GBN News tonight. Let's hear what GBN what GBN had to say tonight in relation to the same issue. Yeah, you know, we like to get it from all angles. So let's hear what GBN had to say.
Significant land slippage has rendered the Clocher Main Road impassable and is threatening private property there. Christina John has more.
Fire Construction Limited began constructing a retaining wall over 2 months ago, which exposed the hidden problem: water running beneath the road's surface, which ultimately led to the collapse of a portion of road. This constant undermining has festered into a much bigger issue that is now threatening the home of Kent Charles, a Grenadian residing in the United States. Speaking with GBN News crew on Tuesday, Charles revealed that he immediately booked a flight to Grenada after seeing the risk posed to his property via images and videos posted on social media. He said no one consulted or contacted him about the project.
The thing is, everything started out to begin with on the wrong footing. Because in the beginning, I was never informed of what was going on here. Nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I had to see it on the social media. And that's when I had to contact him and contact my niece-in-law to find out exactly what was going on. Then I saw that the excavation took place. And in the first place, they asked me for my cousin, who has the property here. It's my property, but he in charge. He told me that the contractor asked them for a spot to build a shed. So I said to him they could keep down there by the golden apple tree, not a problem. And that was it. Because I didn't know the nature of the work they was going to do on the road or anything like that, you know. All they said they wanted to do some work on the road, and that's it.
The homeowner, pointing to the structure still under construction, said the flight of steps had to be detached from the main building to prevent further destruction.
As I get here, everybody now talking to me about the idea, what the ideas are, and how they're going to resolve what they're doing and things like that. That's all I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not an expert, so I just have to listen. You know what I'm saying? Let the expert do their jobs, and I'll just stand aside. You know, I'll just listen. Well, now that I see, now that the home is threatened, if you look at what happened here, the whole place is it's compromised. You know, the land structure and everything is compromised. You know, yeah. So everything is compromised because the water on the building whenever rain falls, some water would settle a little bit up there. The water never come back on that side here. It will fall over that side and up front. Now all the water coming back here, so that means the building drop, on one end. Sometimes when you speak up, it seems like you're the wrong one, so, yep.
Charles's uncle, along with other residents, had to use alternative routes because of the collapsed road.
The next thing I could show you is like we want place to pass. As you see, no transport can go from here to Guav. And it's only one road we have, So the people, I don't concerned about it now. It's the road. I have to go to Grenville. I go in this way, so we don't have a problem if I go into Grenville. If you go into Guav, most people are going to Guav now, like, it's either you hire a taxi from Guav and drop somewhere around there and walk.
Well, we thought the MP said that there's a back road, anyhow.
I have to walk from here to come down to get a vehicle from there to go down. That is the harassment there.
Looking at the whole situation, everybody can see for themselves. But living around the area, to go up and down, sometimes you get like a right to come to this point, you have to get an extra to from the next point, let's say to reach in Guav. It's tough. And the fact that we have no alternative road to say like, we could use a different road to reach down. It's not like that. So it's like, it's tough.
In an earlier interview with GBN, Kishon Gitton, supervisor of the project, outlined the revised plan to stabilize and rebuild the affected area.
If you notice higher up there, we had to cut on the next side of the road to put some blasted rock to stabilize it. And now we're working some late hours now to get the pouring going. Most likely Thursday we should do the first pour and we'll backfill it and then continue to go to get it done. We had to take out about 6 feet in the road and put back the blasted rock and then the boulders and then compact it and come on back to the normal height, and then we're going to put the asphalt over it. And we'll put some box drain on the next side of the road to control the water.
In the meantime, workmen are doing what they can to stabilize the foundation. Christina John, GBN News.
Again, folks, a situation of not proper planning. Yeah? When the contractor go and he start to dig is when he start to find stuff. Contractor go, he start to dig, he start to realize, hey, this is compromised and there's a problem here and there's a problem there. That is when they start to recognize that they have a problem. And all of this could have been avoided if a proper plan had been put in place. If there's a possibility of an alternative road being opened before that project started, then you open the alternative road and you do what you have to do. Instead of that, we've been told about non-existent alternative road and so on. Pour the people up in that area. Call back. I realize I missed a call from one of the listeners there. Give me a call back, caller, if you get the opportunity. Yeah, so that is what is taking place with the people up there in Cloche. And folks, this is a broader problem, There's a broader problem here. The broader problem here is that we have a group of individuals who do not know and do not know that they do not know. And they won't acknowledge that they do not know that they do not know. So you have the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of Works, comes on national internet today. Okay, he come on national internet. He was on radio. He was on Facebook. He was on YouTube. He had 1 hour, 60 minutes talking. And the Minister of Works, Prime Minister of this country, after the major collapse of a road project under his watch, as Minister of Works, said not a single word about the Cloche project or a single word of sympathy or empathy to the people of Cloche and St. John who are negatively affected by this. There are people in St. John who usually go to St. Andrew and so on, and St. Mark and so on, utilize that as the mechanism to get to St. Andrew to do what they have to do. That is no longer there. You had the opportunity, Mr. Prime Minister, on various radio stations. Today, this evening, just a couple hours ago, you had the opportunity to speak to this issue. You said not a single word, not even a word of apology. And you, not the MP for St. John, she just as bad, but you are the Minister of Works, and you had nothing to say. That tells you who care about people. That tells you who is concerned about the welfare of people. That's such an important national issue. One of the first issues raised in the news, although that news has raised some damn stupidness as first thing in the news too, but one of the first issues raised in the news, directly affecting the residents, an issue which can end up costing at least $1 million to the people of Grenada, that happened under your watch. When you were in opposition and the road collapsed in Northwest, you take your fast mouth and start to run your mouth on Dr. Mitchell. You were in opposition. We wasn't even in opposition. You were with a party that didn't have no seat. And you found it necessary to run your mouth on Dr. Mitchell because there was a collapse in his constituency in relation to a piece of land that had absolutely nothing to do with maintenance or anything like that. There's a fault line running through there. So the land collapsed in that area, and we know the whole story of having to do that bridge in Molyneux. And so you, Deacon Mitchell, run your mouth on Keith Mitchell. But now you get a case of mutitis. You can't say anything. You're the minister responsible. This happened under your watch due to the incompetence of yourself, your leadership. Some proper assessment ought to have been done. Caller, I miss your call again. I don't have the ringer on, so it had to catch my eye. You have direct responsibility for what took place there. Direct, no indirect, no around the corner. No going wrong circles and figure 8. Direct responsibility for what took place there. It happened under your ministry, under your watch as Minister of Works. There is no way the contractor is supposed to be the one finding out the problems while doing a job to correct. So what problem is he correcting if he's finding out the problems while he's doing the work? Can anyone explain that to me? The phone lines are open, and any of you could call and explain that to me. How can it be a situation that the contractor is now finding out the reasons for the collapse while he's supposed to be doing a job to correct the collapse? So you're telling me that the leadership in the Ministry of Works, and I know that the CTO and some of the other people, I know that the people in the Ministry of Works, they're intelligent, they're competent, and they're capable. And if you have a set of troops, and you know your troops are properly armed, you know your troops are properly trained, then the problem had to be that your troops are not motivated or properly led. They are not properly led or motivated. So while the workers in the Ministry of Works, very competent, very intelligent, they might have the equipment and they're fully armed, but if they are not properly led and motivated, your troops will fail in their mission. And this has been a failure. To me, it seems as though they just get up a day and they say, hey, boss, you want a contract, we want a wall day. That road slipping, just put a wall there and back it up, man. That seems to be what took place. And with nearly 100% certainty, that is what take place. Because when you listen to the contractor on the Grenada Government Information Service, the Grenada Government Information Service, the GIS, when you listen to them, then you realize, hey, these guys didn't know what they're doing. They just went there and they was doing something, but they didn't know what they're doing. They just went and they started digging, then they bounce up water, then they continue digging and they bounce up more water, and they dig again and they bounce up more water, and then more land start to collapse, and then they find themselves in this situation that they are in now. And folks, you all recognize, while we keep hearing from the contractor, we're not hearing from the Ministry of Works. That project taking place in outer space, that ain't taking place in Grenada. It is all well and good for us to hear from the contractor. Poor guy. Poor fella. It's all well and good to hear from the contractor. Where is the Ministry of Works in relation to this? Where are they? What have they been saying? What have they been finding out? What are their directives in relation to this? Mr. Prime Minister, you had a whole hour. You could have spoken for 5 minutes. You could have spoken for 3 minutes. You could have spoken for 30 seconds in relation to the closer issue. But no. That program is an opportunity for you to go and talk about what? You wanted to be a calypsonian at a time. And when he was little, he used to say, oh, gosh, stupidness. Nobody. But you see, the Prime Minister has started this kind of program, you know. You know why? Because a lot of people got up on the 23rd of June, 2022, and went and voted for somebody that they did not know. You all know it. You all didn't know the guy. You all voted on appearance and not competency. So you all find he looked nice. You all find he talked nice. You all go and vote on looks, and you didn't vote on competency, and that is why things like what happened in Closure could happen. That is why a sitting government minister could walk into the cabinet and put onto the table evidence of corruption, and it could be swept under the carpet. The Prime Minister ain't bothering with that. That is why those kind of things could take place, because a set of people went and they vote not on competence but on looks. So now people start to ask, but who is this individual they voted for? So he have to come now to try and make a connection with people, to try and tell people, hey, this is who I am. But who is telling you who he is still not who he is, because he's still trying to project himself as Gary and Maurice Bishop mixed in one. That's what he's trying to do. So he tries to sit like Maurice. He tries to talk. The only thing he ain't do is grow the beard. He ain't grow the beard and the afro. That's the only two things he ain't do. But he's trying to give off that impression, because a lot of people vote for an individual they did not know. So the people who are handling the individual says, people have to get to know you. Because all the time, when the Public Workers Union got Miss Armstrong and others to bring the case forward in relation to pension, when Miss Armstrong and her lawyers, not including Deacon Mitchell and Associates, not them, when the Public Workers Union and their lawyers and Miss Armstrong and so on fought the pension case, Deacon Mitchell was nowhere around. He was in court fighting against the workers of this country, not fighting for their pension, not fighting for workers. Go and ask the workers down in SGU who used to work there and was sent home during COVID. Go and ask the people who were terrorized that were working with the Grenada Electricity Company when it was under WRB. Go and ask them. Go and ask Miss Williams, who was working at Calabash. The case is up there online. Go and ask her. Ask these people if this was an individual that was fighting for workers' rights and restoration of pension. All those years of struggle, and the trade union movement wicked to themselves too. Because are you sit down there? Are you know all you went and fight for pension? All you allow a man who had absolutely nothing to do with the restoration of pension, crowing like a cockerel at sunrise, all over the place about he restore pension. Restore which damn pension? Restore which pension? The revolution created the situation when they created the NIS. And I can't go into the details because I'm not fully au fait on the details. But the general is that the revolution caused the situation. The same revolution that he trying to emulate in certain aspects caused the situation in 1983. Yeah? They caused that situation. The Public Workers Union at nearly every May Day celebration for close to 30 years, every single May Day celebration, the issue of pension was being raised. I didn't see Deacon Mitchell, I didn't hear him. I didn't see him and I didn't hear him. The Public Workers Union, under various presidents, not just Brian Grimes, but you had this lady Rachel, Madonna, you had all these people. The issue of pension was one of the first issues they would speak about and continually speak about. They get Miss what's her name, that fought the case on behalf of other workers. They got the lawyers. Therefore, they won a victory in the court. The new National Party administration could have had this thing tied up in court still, because the NNP could have decided that they were challenging the court's judgment in relation to this, that they were filing an appeal, and the issue of pension would have still been an issue because it would have been tied up in the courts. Deacon Mitchell was nowhere wrong all that time either. The courts ruled. The NNP, due to prudent fiscal management, had the money there and said, this is how we're going to deal with it. They called the election. Full intention. The court has an order, you know. So even if GULP did win the election, even if a group of independents did win the election, whoever came into office had to pay pension. So happens the NDC formed the government, came in, and they had to pay the pension. They didn't do anything because they were altruistic. They didn't do anything because they like people and they like workers. They didn't do anything because there's nice people and they saw a wrong and they were righting a wrong. If he was righting a wrong, he would have offered his legal services free of cost to the Public Workers Union and Mr. Armstrong. He would have made sure that he was part of their defense team. Not defense team, their team. To bring the case forward. If he was so caring about pension, he was a lawyer. He was active. And he was in the courts in relation to labor-related affairs. So he had no excuse. He was in the same court the rest of them was in. But he was on the other side, terrorizing workers, not helping them. So when he comes now, disingenuously, and faces the Grenadian people, it is sickening to the stomach to see him now try and take all the praise in relation to pension payments. Mr. What you had to do with that? You had nothing to do. NNB, as a government, had more to do with pension payment than you had to do. All you had to do was take the money that was there because NNP was managing the economy properly and make the payment that the court ordered, not because you feel good and you decide you're going on, oh, give them our money, boy. And you went and you dip and you say, well, let me just give them pensioners our money. That is not the case. Be truthful to the Grenadian people and stop that mamagism. Be truthful. 147344. I keep missing these calls. Well, you know what? Let me put back my thing on I had it there because I keep missing the calls because the volume is down on the ringer. So I got to put the ringer. Yeah, I had to put the ringer back up. So folks, you could call, yeah. Right. 1473440377. Let me get it straight. Don't be afraid to tell them they lie when they come and talking about they restore pension. Deacon Mitchell and NDC did not restore any pension. Call the lie out for what it is. Stop allowing these people to lie to your face. When he say it on a program, call and tell him he lie. He lie. Ask him how he restore it. After so many years of you had nothing to do with that. There was a court order. Public Workers Union. You all had to stop letting this man take praise for things that you all do too. You all go sit down there and just allow this man to take praise for your decades of hard work. The trade union movement in general wasn't just the public workers union. The technical and allied workers union, the Grenada intellectual manual and mental workers union, the bank and general workers union, you all go, well, I could understand for bank and general because we know certain people. But anyhow, you all go and just sit down there and allow that simply because somehow you don't like NNB? Well, you're good. 14734407377. That is the number for you all to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. As I said, tomorrow night we're seeking to have the Honorable Emlyn Pierre on with us, and we'll confirm during the day tomorrow. We'll put out something once we have confirmed that she will be on with us. Closure Road down. What the minister was saying again in relation to the Closure Road?
Well as Munger Road. So we've been able to tackle them, and there are large projects. There are over 500,000 EC dollars. Some of them bordering close to millions of EC dollars to rectify and to rehabilitate, and we're taking them one at a time. So we have been able to address the situation with Closure that was a failed or an old culvert system that was there, and the road was eventually eroded and it has started eroding drastically before the intervention. And so we've been able to get the approval for works to commence through the Ministry of Infrastructure on that project. And since we have started on the project, for those persons who know Closure is a wet area. Forgive me if I don't use the technical terminology, but there's always water. The soil is always moist up there. There are natural streams that flows all over. Some are at the surface, others are on the ground. And it's only when you realize or you do the investigation or works commence, you will see that, okay, there is a water source, there is some live channel of water running through. And so...
Yeah, let's give the priority to the calls, and let's take this caller. Hello, good night.
Good night, sir. Yeah, I'm calling from the Nutmeg. It's an insult to my intelligence to listen to personal non grata, because,
I am sorry, sir. Go right ahead.
Yeah, let's win the election tonight and get your pen and paper, and I'm doing some adding. Let's do. I'm the quarterback here, and you are the receivers. Let's say, okay, we have 5 already. We have Emlyn Pierre. Not sorry, Emlyn Pierre, the Honorable Emlyn Pierre. We have Guav, St. Mark's. We have Dr. Keith, and we have 4. Now we get back number 10. We have 5. Now we have to win one way I'm from, St. Patrick. That's 6. And the air hostess who took away the flight attendant, I think we have 7 there, okay? And we have 1 more maybe in St. Andrews. But let's say we only have 7. And the chameleon wins his seat in the thing, and we have 7 and 7. That's not, I'm saying the chameleon because he goes with any color. So we have 7 and 7, and the chameleon. 7 and 7. Am I quarterbacking right, or should I need to let you do some?
In my view, you don't have anything until it declared on election night. Huh? Because I remember a night like this many years ago. It was July 8, 2008, and you only found out by about now, so is when it was confirming who formed the government and so on seats. So you have to be careful with counting your chicken before they hatch. Next thing you get spoiled egg.
No, it's not counting. It's not counting. It's where we are consolidating our armed forces. You have to win that battle on that side.
We ain't gonna say that publicly.
Well, no, I'm not going to say it publicly. But we are going to. So let's play devil's advocate. I'm going to ask you a devil's advocate. The chameleon, if it happens to be 7-7, the chameleon will turn green or it will turn yellow.
Well, I think that there are some individuals who are playing that particular game. I think that they are working with the yellow forces, the intention being that they are hoping, because they know the only way for them to be able to win is they need the support of a major political party. Yeah? And due to that, they will work with one group against the other. They're definitely not working with the green group. So it must mean they're working with the yellow group. And their promise to the yellow group may be, we can destabilize the new national party in seat A, seat B, seat C, and cause them to lose there so that you all will be able to win. While at the same time they're telling them that they're working against them in certain places because they believe that they have the ability to cause a 7-7 as you're talking, and that they would be kingmaker. And then as who come with a better offer, most likely, you remember Son Michel way back when he was the kingmaker, but to become the king, the government, you had to make him the prime minister. You know, there's a situation similar like that way back. That is probably that is probably where they're heading in their thoughts. That hey, if you want to go into government, you're going into government with me.
Yeah, but now I mean, you know, by the way, my wife met nurse. I'm just gonna, you wouldn't know who I am, but my wife met nurse.
Lovely.
Okay, and she knows, and it's so straight that nurse is her cousin. So just leave it like that, and then that's it.
Lovely.
So yeah, it's I never know it was such a small circle. But anyway, it's the fever up there is not as hot. The temperature is not yet 104. It's about 98 in my area up here. Even though it's not Mexico City, it's a small state, but you know it's gonna get hotter, and I could feel it.
Wow.
All right, sir. Good night, sir.
You have a wonderful one, my brother.
All right, thanks. All right, bye-bye.
Indeed. And you see, folks, that's why I've said before on this program, and I'll continue to say, a vote for anything but the new national party, anything. I ain't not to call any other organization name because I ain't know who they. A vote for anything outside of the new national party is a vote for the NDC. Because any vote that you were going to vote for the new national party and you decide that you're going to give it somewhere else, what you are doing is ensuring that the NDC stays in office. If you are one of the people that decide that you're going and sit down home, I ain't going and vote now. I see they bring this person as the candidate for NNP and I don't like that person, and I go sit down home. You go and sit down home and see if you end up with 5 or 10 years of the same kind of nonsense that's going on now. People go in and do major projects on major roads and don't even do a proper background check before they go and do the piece of road. Where the Ministry of Works disappear. The Minister of Works talk for an hour and says nothing about the most topical road project in Grenada right now. Not a word talking about he wanted to be Calypsonian and old-time mass. That is important. That is important to the people of St. John right now who having problems to get to work in the morning, who had to pray tonight that no heavy rain come down, so that at least they might be able to make it down to work if they're working in St. John. They might be able to make it. And if they're working in town, well, you know, it's up through the Granatang, they have to go. They have to go back down to Birch Grove, up Granatang. Yeah, that's the direction they have to go. So, Prime Minister wanting to, the Minister of Works, Prime Minister, wanting this in Kaiso is more important. Take time and talk about that. Don't take time and talk about closure. Just like the MP for St. John. The MP for St. John is the direct line minister with responsibility for the Sargassum issue. She has been the person speaking on Sargassum. We played for you last night, all kind of thing. She has been the person speaking on Sargassum and all of this issue. Yeah? While she is on national radio and TV on Sunday on the NDC Heartbeat program, the Carriacou full of Sargassum, Grenada's beach full of Sargassum. They didn't even say, let's call out the crew and go and clean Grenada's beach. They tell people come and volunteer. So the people are seeing there, from what I've picked up, had to volunteer to go and clean Grenada's beach. Remember, they have a team of people in a Sargassum team that they're paying to do that cleanup. So I could imagine, if that is that side of the island, I could imagine, I haven't heard anything, but I could imagine what is going on in Grenville, Soubise, and Marquis. I could imagine what's going on in areas like up there. But you telling people come and volunteer on the Sunday to go and clean Grenada's beach. The minister with responsibility for all of that was on radio, was on the internet, said not a single word about Sargassum. Don't mention it, don't say nothing about it. It's like when things happen, these people want to play ostrich and bury their head in the sand. Just push it down in the sand. But they can't push it down in the sand on Grenada's beach because seaweed there. But they want to push their head down in the sand and ignore the reality of what is going on around them. And call us if you had a call. You had a call now because when it's 10 o'clock, you know what's going on. You see what's sweating inside here? Yeah, no, you see. Yeah, and pretty soon we shall be, Studio 4. Will no longer be Studio 3, go be Studio 4 before we rotate back to Studio 1, right? But yeah, so you have a situation where the Minister of Works come, the man don't say nothing. You had the Minister of Climate Resilience come, seaweed blanket Grenada's beach. She had nothing to say. Don't tell me you're so incompetent that your staff didn't tell you that it had a set of seaweed on Grenada's beach. Because the two boats you talk about were there. They were loading them up with seaweed, but the seaweed was out there, the Sargassum was out there, the wawet, it was out there. They had the opportunity to take the nets and the fence, as you call it, the two boat, they could have put it between them and they could have go and capture it before it come into the beach. Because I showed the video where it was not yet on the beach and it was out there. And those of us that know the distance between Coast Guard base where that is supposed to be based and Grenada's beach. So you're telling me you could not have gotten the people there to go in time and capture this thing before it come in on the beach? My goodness. Michelle Alexander, behave yourself there. Yes, you and Ron Julian, behave. I see Sheldon all misbehaving there. Folks, remember, if we have to stage the Friday program, you all have to make the small donations. We're just asking for 10 donations each week, 10 for the week. If each person that donate could give just as little as $5, you're seeing the opportunity there in the chat. There is the live thing there where you can, yes, you're seeing the goal, see goal, you could click on that and it will give you the option of what to do and so on, where to have the goal there. Nice, right. So you could click there and it will tell you what to do. All we're asking is for 10 people for the week. So if one tonight, two tomorrow night, whatever, so that we can do the Friday night program. And then when we have the ability, once the day is clear, we will also do a Sunday program once we have the day clear. All right? Nice. But that's what we're looking for, your donations there. If you can assist, please do. If you cannot, we do understand. If you can, please do. All right? Nice. And folks, we're into the final 5 minutes of tonight's program. And I said, if all you have to call no, because I know some people does end up calling when the time up at 10 o'clock is when they want to call. And all you know, I can't stay. I just have to make a little turn. So I just can't stay at that time. So you all will have to definitely call now if you're calling, because so I missed a few calls when I had the ringtone muted. So give us a call once you have the opportunity to do so. You have to do that now. Yes, folks. So again, it's the incompetence. It is the laissez-faire attitude when it comes to the issue of corruption Because you've heard Jonathan Lacret speaking towards the issue of corruption. You've heard him speaking of having gotten evidence, where he got the evidence, how he dealt and treated with that evidence, and the fact that the evidence has been ignored. You're seeing all of that. You're hearing all of that. And you're telling me that elections will come and you're going to say you're sitting down home and you do getting up and vote? Or you're going and vote, basically what I would call create a spoil vote, a vote against the new National Party? Come on, seriously. A vote for anything. I want you all to hear it properly. That's why I continue to repeat it. A vote for anything but the new National Party is a vote for the NDC. It is nothing else. If you vote for anything other than the new National Party, you are voting for the NDC. Just let's make that absolutely clear. Because any vote that you were going to vote for the new National Party and you decide you're going and vote for some other party, you are taking away votes that could have been there to secure the victory for a candidate that may be the candidate that makes the difference between the new National Party forming the government or the NDC forming the government. Because there are nobody else that's going to be forming any government. Let's get that clear. There is no other organization that's going to be forming any government. What any other organization is going to be doing is acting as a drain to drain votes away from either party A or party B. And as I'm saying, if you vote for anything other than the new National Party, then you are draining the votes away from the new National Party. So understand, it is no middle of the road. You're either voting for the NNP or you're voting against the NNP. And when you look at the competence and you look at the team of the new National Party, you see a team of competent people who have other competent people behind them, who have the experience, who understand the governance and getting projects done, understand how to get things done. Somebody was asking me about ambassador of diaspora affairs, if the person exists. I don't even know if the person exists. We have ambassadors in places. Thank you, Sheldon. I see Sheldon has donated $5. So anybody else want to top Sheldon, donate a $5 as well. Right. So you have other people, yeah, who are out there supposed to be working. Listen, you all know we're supposed to have an ambassador out there in relation to medical services. Have we heard a report or anything about that individual in the last couple of years? Remember, there was big fanfare. We naming ambassador in relation to medical services. This person is going to be going out there and getting different things. We hear about Mount Sinai. We hear all kind of things. We're hearing that person's name calling at all. Is that person still part of the diplomatic structure of the government of Grenada? Are they still out there with a diplomatic passport doing work on behalf of the government of Grenada? And if so, what are the benefits that they have brought back to the people of Grenada? We have one in relation to the creative arts, Mr. Orlando Romain. What has the Office of Creative Affairs done for the people of Grenada? They have an office now? Because the last time we know they didn't even have an office. They have an office now? What have they been doing? What benefit have the people of Grenada secured through the establishment over 2 years now of that office? What has our diplomatic corps in China been able to secure for the people of Grenada that the Chinese didn't already decide we want to give Grenada? And the same goes, we see the move Office of High Commission in England. Hope all you ain't go and pay more, you know. I hope you all are being prudent. Because I realize that they shift the Grenada consulate, well, High Commission, not consulate, in England from one location to the other. When I find the document, I'll read it on air so you all know. Those of you in the UK know where to go in case you have an issue. But what have all of these? We have one in Trinidad. What? We just paying people to be there. We have one having some meet and greet, I think, in Canada. What have these people actually brought to the people of Grenada? How have they benefited the people of Grenada? Or have they just been benefiting the National Democratic Congress? Has it been that they've been raising money and raising funds and helping the party? Or have they been doing stuff that has been helping the people of Grenada? If they're helping the people of Grenada, if they've been helping the people of Grenada, tell us what they've been doing. All of the diplomatic missions out there, because I know when he was speaking China before, and the New National Party had somebody there, I could call names of people who were there, and there were benefits that I could call under each of the people that were there that they secured for the state of Grenada. When I speak of the UK, I could do the same thing. When I speak of Carriacou and all these other appointments, I can speak of individuals. Yes, we have a Carriacou ambassador, in case all you didn't know. What benefit to the people of Grenada? Ask the Carriacou ambassador. But what benefits have the people of Grenada secured from all these diplomatic appointments that have been made? You ask yourself. Because definitely, them ain't telling us. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us tonight on Talking Points. We'll be back tomorrow night with more Talking Points for you. My name's Sheldon Scott, and everything you say, everything you do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and not about you. Love each and every one of you. I am out.
This song is dedicated to all the heathen and those that think they can change the course of time. Those that fight against the upright in heart and are too intelligent to overstand that the meek shall inherit the earth. Fire! You can't change your master's plan. Iron, 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 iron. You're giving me a constant fight. You try your best to be my light. Why did you do it? Why? You're sacrificing my good name in your quest for fortune and fame. Why did you do it? Why? My faith is in the God Almighty, and what is His will got to be. With blatant lies and in disguise, you come to criticize, but now I hope it's time you realize you can't keep a good man down. Who God bless, no man shall curse. You can't keep a good man down. In Jaja I put all my trust. That's why I'm rising, rising. Oh God, I'm rising like a blazing fire. Oh, me mama, oh God. Yes, I'm rising and rising higher, higher, higher. Hypocrite get a beating. As a child growing in the ghetto, love was always my motto. Why did you do it? Why? I sing but peace and harmony. These words you said are too easy. Why did you do it? Why? Who give you authority to jeopardize my integrity? Like an educated fool, you've been to many schools and still can't comprehend the golden rule. You can't keep a good man down. You smite the shepherd